How do you think New Mexico is doing in terms of managing public land, wildlife? We're in an area, I should say, that has tons of native land. So
Yeah, New Mexico's, I don't remember the numbers, but we're well over 50% of it here is public land.
public land, but also particularly in the northwest corner of New Mexico, we're surrounded by Indian land.
Yeah.
And so how do you navigate that in terms of hunting and access?
Certain reservations we can hunt on if you have a tag.
Mm-hmm.
I can't outfit on them, but I can hunt on them, which is really good for dog training. Because the higher elevations get snow when we don't have snow, get snow later than we get snow. So we can go over there and buy a lion tag or buy a bear tag, and we can hunt there when we can't hunt here. Certain other reservations is you don't go in there no matter what. You just gotta tow your dogs off and call them back from the fence. You just don't cross those fences. And there's certain places we hunt that it gets a little sketchy. But 9 out of 10 times, you just stay far enough away. You know, if you rig a bear track and you think, God, I'm only 2 miles from that fence and that bear's going that way, you just don't turn out on it.
Yeah. And is there a different dynamic in that you're working with the Navajo Game and Fish or whatever, you know, the agency there? Are they pretty much similar to New Mexico?
Yeah, and with me being an outfitter on the state side, I'm sure they watch me a little more, you know, than they would you, for example. I don't know this for a fact, I'm just speculating.
Because you're saying, as opposed to me, who's not an outfitter, they're watching you to make sure you're not
To
outfitting.
make sure we're not outfitted over there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But they're game and fish just like everybody else, you know, they've got a job to do. They check your license and go on.
Is there any difference between the game populations on the res versus?
I think so.
Yeah.
The Hickoryas do a really good job of managing their game. They rely on that pretty heavy for an income. The Navajos as well. They don't rely on it as an income as much.
But they've got a pretty solid population.
Their game population is good.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty good. And it's not as good as it was. Social media's changed a lot of that. There's an outfitter over there that posts a lot of stuff. He's been really successful, and up until he started posting stuff, you would never see anybody over there. I mean, we'd go over there and hunt for a week and never see another hound neck. And now that he's posted all over social media, and I mean that's what social media is there for. You know, whether I agree or disagree, we put stuff on social media, but people have figured out that it's good hunting, so they're buying a tag and going over there too.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think that there's more, well, I don't know, we could get into this, but I don't think that there's necessarily more hunters. It probably depends on the area. So if there's hunters going hunting on the res, it means they're not hunting elsewhere, at least that weekend or whatever it is. So, you know, I think the more country that's open to hunting and the more we can take the pressure off of specific areas and disperse it across the whole country, the better.
I agree, 100%. Yeah, and we see a lot of trucks from Texas, Utah, all over from over there on that Navajo now. And like I say, they got just as much right to be there as we do.
Yeah.
It's just social media has changed the hunting world. Because, for example, we've got a place we take some elk hunters and kind of been a little honey hole we've had for years and years. Pretty tough hike into it, pretty tough hike out. I had a hunter last year. He's pulling up all these forums and stuff that's over my head. Everybody's talking about this in one spot.
Really?
And it's like, how did they even, but Onyx, you know, they look at Onyx, you know, oh, that's a roadless little deal. It's got a reservation button up on one side, a private button up on another, and it's a little triangle that's hard to get to. And they funnel back and forth. And people see that on Onyx, and they get on these forums, and oh, what do you think of this spot, you know? And it's changed it. And I honestly think when the hound hunting gets banned, it's going to be because of social media.
Yeah, it's the constant battle of tools versus regulation, right? And we've got additional tools which can be really good. It's democratizing. I've been a number of times, mostly camping. I've been camped because I'm, you know, on the road right now. I've been camped out in public land, and someone's told me to move along. It's private, and I can say, well, no, it's not. Look right here. You know, I've got the map. So it's a useful tool and it's great. It has changed the game, right? I've heard guys who've been in it longer say, oh yeah, when I was deer and elk hunting, it used to be just like, if you can get 5-6 miles into the backcountry, there's no one there. And now maybe you hunt the front country or somewhere in between. But adjusting to those tools, I think, is going to be an ever-present part of hunting.
And for the outfitters, you know, it's free advertisement. You know,
Yeah.
social media is free advertisement for us, so we'd be foolish not to use it.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, I mean, we're in the hound business. Everybody knows, you know, you're going to get dogs cut up. You're going to get dogs fighting bears and lions on the ground, or bobcats, or whatever it is on the ground. Dogs are going to get cut up, and that's just part of the game.
Mhm.
But stuff like that don't need to go on social media.
No.
That looks bad on us.
I think that you do a good job of navigating social media and using it in a positive way, because it is the best. If we don't use it, the other side is going to use it, right?
Absolutely.
And they're going to use it to show the worst of it and get our stuff taken away. So I really think we have to reach out to that undecided majority. But there is some heinous stuff going up, and I don't know how we self-regulate that as a community.
And I've had people that I've known, you know, for years and years that don't understand the hound hunting side. They'll reach out to me on social media. Okay, explain to me why you're killing this many lions or killing this many bears or whatever. So you get into that a little bit with them, and they understand. And if it wasn't for the social media, that they would still be in the dark on that sort of stuff. But you get these guys that are stretching coons, and you know, that's a bad deal. You know, people don't need to see that.
Yeah, I think, but you do a good job of it. I think Cleve and Becky do a really good job where you can be posting dead lions, because that is part of the deal.
Yep.
And I think it's an amazing part that if you're able to catch a mature tom and harvest it, like, that's awesome. So we don't have to get the killing out of it, but to have a balance of that with some context for what's going on here, the process, the love for the dog seems, that's something that people can just get on board with.
Yeah.
People are crazy about dogs.
And there's guys that post the kill shots, and I don't know, I don't like that aspect of it either.
Mm.
You know, that could be voodoo to some people. So we try to leave that out as much as we can.
Yeah.
Post pictures of it in a tree, or post pictures of it bait up, or video of it bait up. But take the kill shots out. That's just a bad deal.
You mean take the shot of you shooting it, or the trophy shot?
No, the actual, when you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
You know, that side of it don't need to be seen.
Yeah. I killed my first lion this winter, and I didn't shoot it, but I don't imagine that it's a hard thing to shoot a lion out of a tree, so I don't see why we really need to make a big deal out of that, you know?